Hello there, Libra. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly in-depth tarot forecast. This forecast is for the month of January. Since I ended December's forecast on January 2nd, we are starting this on January 3rd and running it through the 31st. I'm also making some changes in the format. I was breaking the month down into 4 or 5 weeks, whatever was appropriate. But I was getting into some redundant energies by doing that. So I think we're going to break it up a little different. We're just going to divide the month in half this time and see how that works out. So the first half that we're looking at is January the 3rd through the 16th. Let's just see what kind of energies are coming up for you, my Libra friends. By the way, cross-watchers, you are welcome to be here. Just keep in mind that on my channel, energies are not reversible. So this is about Libra and for Libra. If you want to see a video that's actually about you, you may want to check your sun sign, your rising sign, your moon sign. But this will give you information about that Libra person in your life that you care about. Alrighty. First of all, Libras, let's take a look at your environment. Your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. Usually it shows up as home, but not always. Sometimes it's work or school, so you want to be kind of open about that. It looks to me like there is some type of decision that is being made to change your environment in one way or another, and I think that that's happening because you're really unhappy with something going on in your environment, and you do have a message coming in letting you know basically that there is a way forward. And so I think this is why this judgment is being made. I think you're the one making this judgment about your environment. There's something about the environment that has left you feeling unhappy. There is a way to rectify that, and I think you're pursuing that whenever we take a peek at those cards. And as a matter of fact, I think our expanded reading is going to be looking at more about this environment. What is that decision regarding, and what is this thing that is being healed up where you were feeling heartbroken or upset about something in your environment, and what's the new message? We're going to dig into that in the expanded reading. I'm going to look at that with those cards. After we finish going through the rest of this time frame, you'll be able to see the link down below if you're interested in following up on that. For now, though, we're going to look at your subconscious leanings. Subconscious leanings for Libras during this time frame. Okay, so Libras, it looks to me like you've got a little situation with your money, with your finances. You're not very happy about what's going on with your money and finances at this particular point, and you are working on taking control of that and turning that around. And that's what you're thinking about in your subconscious mind. How do I take this situation and turn it around? I got to take control of it. It's out of hand, man. That's what I'm seeing there. You guys are getting ready to take it back in hand. All right, next thing I'm looking at talks to me about your learning style and also your communication style during this particular time frame. I do feel like there is a lot that you're learning, and you're learning it around how other people in your sphere of influence feel about certain things, how they react to certain things, how they feel about certain things. So this is really learning kind of about what makes people in your sphere of influence tick, actually. I think that some of the stuff that you're finding out about how other people tick is a little bit befuddling, mind-numbing, or overwhelming to you because it is so different from how you look at things. I think you're finding that some people in your sphere of influence are a lot more about emotions and how things feel than about just what makes sense logically and what can be analyzed. And let's see, last thing about learning style. It does look like there's a couple of things that you're focused on just strictly because finding out about those things makes you excited, makes you happy, something you're very interested in. As far as communication, I do think there's a lot of listening for you when it comes to communication, and I think you're hearing a lot about how somebody or maybe somebody's in your sphere of influence feel. This goes along with the learning. I think people are really opening up and talking to you about their feelings right now, and basically, I mean, we basically had two communication things that was talking about this. Now we've got, or two learning things that was talking about this. Now I've got two cards when I'm looking at communication. Says, you know, all about emotions. And once again, I see you being overwhelmed as people are talking to you about their emotions because their feelings, because they pay so much more attention to their feelings than what you pay to yours. It kind of doesn't make sense to you how much attention they pay to their feelings. And as far as your communication style, it looks like you are trying to highlight the good things right now. You may be trying to point out to these emotional people some things that are good that you think that they should be appreciating from your analytical standpoint, Libras. Interesting. All right, next thing that I'm looking at for you, Libra, during this time frame, what do we have going on? Let's see. So I'm going to say that I don't think this is true for the whole time frame, but there is the second half of this time frame. I think that you guys may not be doing so much work. So we're looking at the 3rd to the 16th. So probably I'm going to say from like the 11th, 12th, for some of you the 13th through the 16th. There's not a lot of work actually happening. You may not be showing up at work. I do think that at work, though, you're really happy with what's going on. I think things are moving very smoothly. I think there's a lot of communication around work, that things are pretty transparent. And so I'm seeing this as really all good energy flow that's coming up at work. There's a lot of great communication. And then, like I said, those last few days or maybe even the last half of this time frame, I really don't see you going to work. So you're doing something else besides whatever your normal regular work would be. Now, looking, Libras, at that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded during this particular time frame, you are definitely making some decisions because there's somebody who is you had planned on making some kind of collaboration with them, or participating in a collaboration with somebody, and for whatever reason they're not able or they're not willing to participate in this, and so that leaves you holding all the responsibility. And I think that what's happening with this is that you are learning a lot that you weren't really planning on learning. You were leaning on this other person because they know some stuff that you don't know. You were doing your part because you knew how to do that. So now all of a sudden you're having to pick up this new information that you didn't have before. So that's where you're growing or expanding, is you're picking up new information because somebody else is not able to carry their half of the bargain on something that you are working on. Collaborating on, I should say. Doesn't necessarily have to be work. All right, so next thing that I'm looking at talks to me about something that you stand for, Libras. What do you stand for? So this is something that somebody hasn't really understood. They've asked you to explain it, or maybe they think they understand it and they're not very happy about it, and maybe they're even confronting you about it. So you may be having to defend an action or a decision or a person. We'll find out what here in a second. And so we're going to look at what that is that you're standing for. We're also going to look at how this other person views you after you've had your conversation with them. So what do we have? Something has taken you by surprise. Oh, look at this. So this is somebody from your past, or something from your past has sort of shown up in a very surprising way in your life. And I think that you're actually, pretty happy to have this happen. This makes you feel good that that this thing from the past is coming back, whether it's a person, a situation, whatever. I think you're enjoying those memories. Now, explaining this to somebody else thinks that you are incredibly, incredibly patient, but that you really don't have any ideas about what to do with this person or a situation that has shown up from the past. And so basically they're seeing this though as a gift for you. Okay? So I can see where they're saying you don't know what to do with this situation because it was a surprise situation. That kind of makes sense to me. And they're feeling like, this thing coming back from the past, like this was a gift for you. I think you're really enjoying it. I don't think you guys are too far off of what's happening here. I'm not sure why they see you as so patient. Maybe you've been waiting for this person or this situation to come back from the past for a long time. Maybe that's why they see you as being patient. But yeah, so that's what we have there. La da 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 da. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to look at, Libra, has to do with your flex point. And your flex point comes about because there's a lesson or experience that comes up. And as you go through that lesson or experience, generally that's going to change your perspective at least a little bit, which is going to change your trajectory. So that's why it's a flex point, because it changes something. So lesson or experience has to do with the idea of something that you're trying to finish up, you're trying to complete, but you're having a hard time tying all the loose ends together. And it looks to me like because you're having a hard time finishing it up, you may even be putting down any responsibilities that you have around this for right now. And it's bringing a lot of confusion to you. Because this wasn't completable, now you're feeling pretty confused. Okay, so let's look at what else is going on at the same time. I feel like things are not as stable as they could be in your life, and this thing that you're not able to complete may be contributing to that feeling of not being very stable. But at the same time, I don't think your self-esteem is taking a hit. I don't think you're blaming yourself for whatever this is that you're not able to complete. So it may be that whatever it is something that is outside of your control. Maybe coronavirus strikes again, or, something else could too. That's just kind of the easy thing to blame right now. But not being able to complete this makes you, yeah, I don't think you're beating up on yourself on this. I don't think you're beating up on yourself on this because I think you know the truth, and the truth is that, you don't have that much control over this situation. So it wouldn't really be fruitful for you to beat up on yourself for this. What else is going on at the same time? I do think that you're making a lot of changes in your life right now, and there is some type of goal that you're moving forward instead. It looks to me like you've sort of shifted focus from whatever this was where you were trying to tie up loose ends. Now you're working on something different since that can't be taken care of right now. And this new thing that you're working on is something that it takes more than just you. It also takes other people's energy, efforts, encouragement, upliftment, empowerment to reach this goal. And so this is more of a team thing, whether it's a two-person team or whether it's a 500-person team. This is everybody moving towards that goal. And I see you putting a lot of energy and effort towards that. And that is something that helps you to feel released from some of the stress from not being able to complete this other thing over here. It helps you to be able to funnel that energy somewhere else for now while you're waiting to be able to wrap up that other thing. So I see that as a really positive step that you're doing right now. And then where do we have you at the end of this time frame, Libra? La da 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 da. There is something that you're able to continue on with that you have already began as a leap of faith. And I think that, this may be what we were looking at before that had to kind of wait, that you couldn't tie up all the loose ends. It looks to me like you're looking at other opportunities. Actually, I'm going to say I don't think it is a thing from before, because I do think you're looking at other opportunities instead, other things that you can work on. We kind of already saw you shifting your focus, and I think that you're really enjoying these other opportunities that are doable right now. And I think that a lot of these are things that you had started before that now you're just able to focus on more directly, and you're able to continue on with those. So not a bad ending. Just it basically just shows you kind of going with the flow through this time frame, so that you're not losing time as far as being productive. You're just focusing on something different here. So I like that. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to wrap this up, and then I'm going to look at the environment for the time frame. We want to explore that a little bit more and see exactly what's going on there. At least I do. So if you guys want to check that out, that's going to be in the expanded. The link is going to be down below, and I'll see you back here in just a couple of seconds. Welcome back, Libra. This time we are looking at January 17th through the 31st to see what kind of energies come up for you. Once again, as usual, cross watchers are welcome, just as long as you keep in mind that energies on my channel are not reversible. This is a reading for Libra and about Libra. If you want to find out about yourself, you may want to check your rising sign, your moon sign, or your sun sign, or some combination thereof. Either way, this is for Libra. So, my Libra friends, let's see what the cards have to say about the energies influencing you during this time frame. Alrighty, Libra, Libra, Libra. Let's look at your environment here. Environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. Normally it's home, but not always. You want to have sort of an open mind about that. It does look like in your environment there's a lot of attraction going on, Libra, between you and somebody who is very passionate, very much thinks outside the box, doesn't let society or culture tell them what is acceptable and what to do with their life and with their situations in their life. So they're really great problem solvers, actually, even because of that. But I feel like even though there's attraction between yourself and this other person, I feel like this may be something that you are not open to right now, that you're not receptive to. This may not be something that you actually want, even as it shows up. Now, Libra, Libra. Let's look at your subconscious leanings here. Looks to me like you have some kind of idea about something, and this is an epiphany of an idea. It's something that when this idea comes in, it not only makes sense for whatever it is you're thinking about, but it also makes puzzle pieces fall into place in other parts of your life as well. So we've got an epiphany showing up as dropping in for you, and this epiphany is causing you to do some research, to dig for information. I think you're trying to find out if this epiphany can actually be backed up with facts or with data, or if this is just something that you've made up in your mind because you wanted to. And I feel like you're actually, this is interesting, you're actually not very hopeful about this epiphany being something that's a real valid understanding of things. What I am going to tell you is that this is not a false epiphany. This is real deal. Whatever this epiphany is, this new understanding of things, whatever it is, even though you're doubting it, you're looking for validation and you're having a hard time finding that validation and you're doubting it, this epiphany is actually for real. So if you're seeing this reading and this happens and you catch yourself doubting something like this, then you know you don't have to do that, okay? But that's what we've got going on in your subconscious. In fact, I think we're going to take a peek at what that epiphany actually entails later on. That's going to be the expanded for this time frame because I'm curious, and as we know, inquiring minds want to know. Next thing that I'm looking at does talk to me about your learning style and also your communication style during this particular time frame. I think there is a lot of haziness around something that you're trying to learn about money or about your money in particular. You may be trying to get a refund on something, or you may be trying to figure out how you invest in some certain thing. And I think you're just having a little bit of a hard time getting your hands on that kind of information right now. What else is going on? I feel like there is something that you are looking at, trying to understand or learn about your own health and how things that you can do to improve your own health during this time frame. And what else? Oh, this is fun. So Libras, I think you're finding out that I think you're actually learning two things. I think first of all, you're finding out that you have been somebody's light during a difficult time. You have been that person that's sort of encouraged them, lifted them up, maybe even given them advice or shown them the way. And at the same time that you're learning this, I think you are coming to a new understanding about how you can be that person who is the light to others in your sphere of influence. Very cool. Very cool. That's spiritual growth right there. That's awesome. All right. So, communication style. What is our communication style during this time frame? I do think that there is somebody around you that you're having a very valid, reciprocal conversation with as you go through this time. And I think that that conversation actually has a lot to do with money and things that make you feel secure, whether it's tangible money or whether it's relationships or a home or vehicle or job status or whatever. So I do think you're talking about money, and I think this is a give and take conversation. I don't feel like this is one person lecturing another. This is sharing of ideas about money and about things that make each of you secure, okay? Make you feel secure at least. Let's put it that way. I think also that there is somebody in your sphere of influence that you're having some very clear, transparent conversations with. You're being very open and honest with them. And I think that a lot of the things that you have to say are positive, are encouraging, and are uplifting. And I think that person also is able to very honestly be positive and encouraging and uplifting to you as well. And what do we have last? Last but not least, about communication style. I think that as you're communicating with those around you in your sphere of influence, you're being very solid and very predictable in what you are communicating, meaning that people aren't thrown off by what you're saying. They know what to expect from you and the types of messages that you're delivering, and they know that you believe in certain things very solidly, but they also understand that you do see room for exceptions when necessary. So you may be strict and you may have some high standards, and people come to expect this in your communication with them, but they also know that you're a reasonable person and that you do allow things to go as they need to go whenever those high standards just absolutely can't be met for some legitimate reason. Okay, so that's communication style during this time frame. What else do we have? Next, we're looking at work for you Libras. What do we have here? La da 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 da. It looks like you may have been waiting for something on work, or you may have been waiting to go to work. I do see you getting that release, being able to go to work, and I think that you are really, really enjoying the work that you do and also enjoying the people that you work with as well. Some nice positive energy around work. I like it, I like it. I like it a lot. All right, looking at that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now, Libras. What do we have? Hmm. So it looks like you're feeling pretty solid and grounded about a contract or a commitment that you have with somebody else. And I think that what's happening is you're changing or updating or upgrading that contract. And I think that you're feeling really good about this. This feels like the most logical thing to do, to change or upgrade that long-term contract or commitment that you have. Whoop, whoop. Solid and security. We like solid security. All right. Next thing that we're looking at are those things that you stand for during this time frame. This is something that somebody needed you to explain to them, or maybe they confronted you about it and so you had to defend it. Let's take a peek at what this is. So it looks to me like you got in some kind of good news about money or material goods. And when you got in that news, you immediately put some restrictions on yourself about what was going to happen with whatever this news was about. Because it looks to me, Libra, like you feel like if you don't put restrictions on yourself immediately, then the temptation is to go out and take whatever this money or material good is and just use it right away and then be none the better off. And so you've put some limitations on yourself to keep that from happening. Now, once you've explained this to another person because they didn't understand why you were limiting yourself, how they're seeing you, hmm, what I'm going to say is they were expecting you to spend some of this money or give them some of this material goods on them, okay? And what they're seeing now is that you're not cooperating with them and their desires and what they want. They're also seeing that you're pretty smart, you're hip to them, you're hip to their schemes, and they're a little bit heartbroken that they can't pull this off and getting you to spend this money on them or give them this material good that you're getting or whatever. So that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Interesting things there going on. Alrighty then, let's try looking at your flex point. Lesson or experience that changes your perspective on things. What do we have showing up here? So Libra, it looks like you have a really great, amazing, wonderful idea that would help you to set the foundation of something that is important to you in your life right now. And I think that you are taking some action on this idea. You're using it to set that foundation for yourself. La da 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 da. What else is going on at the same time that you're working on that foundation? I think there's somebody that is picking at you, and when I say picking at you, they're trying to start a fight. And I think that they're wearing down your self-esteem because they're accusing you of some things that aren't really fair. And I'm going to back up here. Remember we talked about you having some kind of good news about financial or material goods? I think that your idea has to do with using those to set a foundation for something that's going to be more long-lasting rather than just poofing right through that. Okay, so some type of investment or home improvement or something so that you have something to show for this. And I think what's going on here is this other person is taking jabs at you for deciding to hold back on just poofing right through this, and that's actually hurting your self-esteem. And they're saying some things that are unfair. I'm really getting a strong whiff of emotional manipulation going on here towards you over this whole issue because you're trying to be responsible. What else is going on here? Looks to me like this is causing you to be a little bit indecisive about what you're going to do. You've already started to build that foundation, but now you're faltering a little bit with indecisiveness. Why? Because emotional manipulator over here is talking in your ear and has your self-esteem working down and is telling you, oh, that investment's never going to work. You're going to lose all our money. Wouldn't it be better if we bought shoes or clothes or a boat or whatever, you know? And so this person is working you down. And I think you get to the point where you feel like the only way for you to have peace is to just cave in and do what this other person says, even though it breaks your heart because you know you had this opportunity and you didn't get to take advantage of it because you caved and let this other person tell you what to do with this material good or with this money that you guys found out about that was coming in. That's sad. I feel sad for you, Libra. So, what do I always tell you guys? Why do we get readings ahead of time? Because that way, if we see something coming in that we don't like, we have free will. We can change it. You don't have to cave. You don't have to cave, especially when I'm seeing that it's going to break your heart to cave. Why? Don't do that to yourself. All right, and where do we see you at the end of the month, Libra? There is something that is coming back from your past, and this is something that you don't have such good memories of. You're not so happy to see this thing come back from the past. And it looks like there is some kind of closure here. I think that this thing is dead and done, even though somebody is coming back from the past or some situation is coming back from the past. I don't think you're willing to participate in it, but I do think that it's good. I mean, you're gonna make this into lemonade. It's lemons, but you're gonna make it into lemonade. And I think you're gonna get some good closure out of this, or the other person is gonna get some good closure out of this and realize that they don't need to be coming back again. And so once this is all said and done at the end of the month, you're feeling very self-sufficient. You're feeling like you're just fine without that thing from the past. And, you know, you've got everything covered. You're cool. You're cool there. Okay? So that's what I've got for your month, Libra. I am going to drop down after I wrap up this video and look a little bit more at that environment and see what we've got going on there. But for right now, I want to thank you very much for being here, for spending some of your precious time with me. Also for thumbs upping this video, for sharing it with others who may benefit from it. And then also, of course, thank you to those of you who are buying the advanced readings, and thank you to those of you who are buying private readings and private Reiki sessions with me. It's always my pleasure and my honor to be of service to you, and it's because of all of you guys' support that I'm able to do what I love to do for my living. So thank you, thank you, thank you very much, and I'm going to do this advanced. If I don't see you there, then I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.